everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new around here. I think we can all agree this year has definitely been an interesting one, to say the least. I'm trying to stay as positive as I can about it, but with that being said, I have still somehow managed to curate a ton of favourites this year, which I guess maybe it's because we've all spent a little bit more time at home and we have more time to kind of try new things and all that sort of stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to get into this video because I know that it's going to be super long. But yeah, I thought I would show you guys my 2020 favourites. So the categories I'm going to talk about are skincare, makeup, hair care, TV shows, films, books, music, YouTube, food, drinks, and also some kind of random and like favourite moments of the year, I guess. So if you're not interested in any of the particular sections, please do feel free to skip to whatever bit you're kind of most interested in. But I'm going to start off with skincare because I feel like skincare this year has really changed the game for me. Oh, also, do you guys like my Christmas jumper? It's from Practically Perfect Pieces. I know I wore one of their other ones in a recent video as well, and this is the other one that I got, and I love it so much. I'm obsessed. But yeah, gonna start off with skincare, and the first brand that I want to talk to you guys about is The Ordinary. I'm sure you've all heard of The Ordinary by now. They've kind of got quite big this year and they're doing great things, especially for my skin, so I thought I would talk about them. The first thing I want to talk about is the retinol in squalene solution. This one, I love this. This has definitely made probably the most difference to my skin. My skin feels a lot smoother and a lot clearer generally. I'm having a little bit of a breakout today, but it's not really anything reflecting on this. But yeah, absolutely love it. I think it's really good. It's an oil based, which I was a bit kind of stressed about because I have quite oily skin, but actually I really like it, so that was good. I also have the hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is something that I think needs to be in everyone's skincare routine, whether they use it at night or in the morning. I choose to use it in the morning, and yeah, I just think again it has changed my skin so dramatically in the short time that I've been using it. So yeah, loving that. I also use, or did used to use, the niacinamide, however the heck you say that. I still don't know, I never learned how to say it. I do still use that occasionally, but I do also have another product which I'm going to talk about in a minute which has that ingredient in, so I don't want to use it too much, but generally I do still love that and I do reach for it every now and again. The final thing from The Ordinary that I love is the AHA and BHA peeling solution like face mask. I don't use this very often, I'm going to be honest. It says you're meant to use it twice a week. I use it maybe like once a month, if I'm going to be honest. I just think it's very strong and my skin is slightly too sensitive for it. I don't really have sensitive skin, but my skin is a little bit sensitive for this, but when I do use it I do notice a massive difference, so would also highly recommend. Oh my god, the cutest dog is currently walking past my house. Oh, okay, anyway, moving on. The next product I want to talk about is the CeraVe facial moisturizing lotion. This is why I don't use how do we say it, niacinamide anymore. I don't know that stuff. That's why I don't use that anymore, because this has it in and I don't want to use it too much because it can kind of react to your skin badly if you use it too often and too much. So I got this recently on actually my housemate Maddie's recommendation. She said that she loves CeraVe, so I thought I'd give it a go. And honestly, after years of trying to find like a moisturizer that just moisturizes, I feel like I found it. Like genuinely, I've been through so many different brands and types of moisturizer. As you guys probably know, I have quite oily skin, so finding a moisturizer that kind of works for me is quite hard. But this, it's very simple and it just does the job, and I just love it. I can't fault it at all, and I'm so glad that I found it because now I feel like I won't need to change like what brand moisturizer I use ever again now because I have it. So yeah, would recommend. Next up, we're going to talk face masks. The face masks I've been absolutely loving this year, and again, similar to the moisturizer, I've been looking for so long for a face mask that is just perfect for my skin and does all the things that I want a face mask to do, and I feel like I found it in this. This is the Revolution Pink Clay Top Spine Mask. It's just the clay mask. It's just your bog standard average clay mask. I just love it. As I said before, I've been through so many different brands of mask and type of mask, and I just never found one that I feel like I want to reach for all the time. Like the BHA one I like, but as I said, I don't use it very often. I also have the avocado mask from Revolution, which I do also like, but it's not like a firm staple in my skincare routine. Like once it runs out, I don't know if I'll repurchase it. But this, I can see myself repurchasing for a long time because it's just the perfect face mask. It's the right consistency, it doesn't smell horrible, it makes my skin feel really, really nice. I don't know how much it actually does in terms of like skincare benefits because, as I said, it is just Revolution are not like a really high standard skincare brand, but I just really like it, so I'm glad that I discovered that. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about, probably again is going to be no surprise to many of you, but it is the Peaches and Clean Deep Cleansing Milk by Soap & Glory. This is my all-time favourite cleanser of all time. I probably mentioned this in previous yearly favourites. I can't remember the last time that I did a yearly favourites, but I'm sure I probably mentioned it then. But I just love it. I stopped using it for a while last year just because I had other stuff to use up, and as soon as I came back to this year, I remembered how much I love it and how much I never want it to leave my skincare collection ever again. It's the best cleanser. If you guys haven't tried it, you need to. It's great. So the next two products, I wasn't too sure where they kind of fit in terms of like skincare, body care, like that kind of thing. But this next one is the Vitamin E Skincare Spray On Body Lotion. Oh my god, you guys, why have I never tried a spray on body lotion until now? Like, genuinely, I discovered this a couple of weeks ago and changes the game. It makes it very quick. I literally just have to spray this all over my body and it just sinks in and it's done in like 30 seconds. I don't know why I've never tried this before, but honestly, changed my life a little bit, I'm going to be honest. So would highly recommend if you're lazy like me and don't like waiting for things to dry and don't always have loads of time to be putting like body lotion on and that sort of thing. So big fan. And the final skincare slash body care favourite that I have is, again, going to be no surprise to any of you, it's my Estrid razor. I was very, very, very kindly sent this at the start of the year, as I'm sure most influencers and content creators that you guys watch probably did. I was so like excited when Estrid reached out to me. They actually sent this to me pretty early on in their like influencer campaign. Like, I didn't really know many other people that had been sent one yet. Like, I felt quite exclusive, and then literally like 2 weeks after I received it, everyone that I follow on my entire timeline had an Estrid, so I feel quite cool that I was one of the first people to get one in terms of the campaign they did. But this has been the best razor I've ever used, and once again, I'm probably never going to switch, so I don't really have much else to say about this. I've talked about it loads before. Love the brand, love the razor. Next up, we're going to talk makeup, and to be honest with you guys, I don't really have like a ton of makeup favourites this year. I haven't really been wearing makeup at all this year, obviously because we've been in lockdowns and we just haven't really needed to wear it, and I just really hadn't felt the need to wear it. And I think the longer that I went not wearing makeup, the longer I kind of got used to it, and I was like, I don't care, I don't need to wear it anymore, I don't want to wear it. So yeah, I do feel like I've kind of grown out of makeup a lot this year, and I've not got like any new palettes to try or new palettes to talk about as favourites, so I'm sorry about that. But I do have two products that I wanted to quickly mention. The first one, I guess kind of is skincare, but it's also a primer, and it's the Glossier Priming Moisturiser. I can't believe when I was planning this video, I was like trying to remember all the stuff that I tried this year. I only tried this year. I feel like I've been using this forever. It is almost run out. This is my first tube. I got it for Christmas last year, but I didn't start using it until like January time. So it's lasted me the whole year, and obviously granted I haven't really been wearing makeup every day. But when I do, I always mix my foundation with this. I really hate having heavy foundation on. I didn't do it today and I regret it majorly. I really hate having like a thick layer of foundation, so I like to mix it with this, and honestly it's just so nice. Again, it's a very simple product and just very like fuss free, I guess, which is definitely something that I'm looking for these days, and yeah, just really like it. I also really rate anything from Glossier, to be honest. I think they're just a really great brand. The second makeup product that I literally have been swearing by this year is the RCMA No Colour Powder, and this is it. I currently have it in a little like tub. I decanted it because the tub that it comes in is really big and just messy and not good. But yeah, honestly, once again, I feel like this year I've really discovered kind of staple products for me, and like things that are just really fuss free and just things that genuinely work. I again have gone through so many different brands and types of powder over the last couple of years, and I kind of realised that it's probably really bad for my skin that I keep trying different things and putting lots of different things that don't necessarily work onto my skin. So when I discovered this, I thought this is going to be the last chance I have to try a powder, and then I'm just going to stick with it, and even if I don't like it, I'm just going to have to use it because I really don't want to have to spend more money on face powders. But honestly, this one works wonders. It doesn't make my skin look really matte and dry and like cakey, but it does keep everything in place, and it kind of stops like oil coming through too much. Obviously I do still have very oily skin, so it's never going to completely go away, but it also makes my skin look really flawless. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but this is all this. Like, really, my skin is not this flawless at all in real life. It's just this powder making it look it. So would recommend if you have quite problem skin, because it does make your skin look really, really good. Quite cheap, and you get loads in a tub, so I'm glad that I discovered it. I'm glad that I finally decided to give it a go after hearing about it for so long. Alright you guys, and the final like kind of physical product that I'm going to show you guys is my hair care of choice, and it is the Function of Beauty shampoo and conditioner. I didn't get the conditioner out the bathroom because you guys know what this looks like, but I tried this back in August, I think, and I did like a whole video reviewing it, which you guys found really helpful, so I'm glad that I did that. But ever since then, like since I filmed that video, I was a bit like unsure on it, and like it's probably not amazing, like it's not the best shampoo I've ever tried, but obviously it's designed for my hair and it doesn't have anything like dodgy in it. I've changed my mind, you guys. I love this stuff. Again, very much fuss free. It means I don't have to go to the supermarket and try and decide what shampoo I want to get. I don't have to faff around looking at a shampoo brand and googling if they're cruelty free or not. Like, all those things that I was doing before, I now don't need to do. Also, I've only used this much since August. Like, that's insane. I'm not going to need to repurchase this for a long time, so I'm really glad that I bought it. As expensive as it is, I do think you get your money's worth out of it, and it is a good investment. Like, you don't have to buy shampoo as often, it's less waste. I know that it does still come in plastic, but obviously because it's lasting a really long time, I'm not throwing away shampoo and conditioner bottles quite so quickly, which I think is really, really good. And obviously it's designed for my hair. Next time I get it, there will be probably a couple of changes that I make with the formula, but other than that, I'm so happy that I decided to go for it this year and try it. I don't think I'm ever going to stray away from it ever again, which again is a huge plus, so glad that I discovered that this year. Alright, we're going to move on to TV shows. I have a lot of TV shows, and again, I feel like it's one of those things where I was writing this list and I was like, I can't believe I only watched that this year. Like, it seems like ages and ages ago. The first thing is season 4 of The Crown, which is probably like the most recent thing that I've watched. Honestly, I think it might be my favourite season yet. So good. I think The Crown is probably one of my all-time favourite TV shows. Like, I'm just obsessed with it. Like, I want to rewatch it all the time. I always say to people that I can't binge watch it because I think it's quite, not depressing, but it's quite a slow program, and I think binge watching it, it isn't made for binge watching. I tried to watch season 4 as slowly as possible to try and savour it, and I watched it over like 2 weeks, which I think is pretty good. But yeah, honestly, I can't get enough of The Crown. If you haven't watched it yet, then you're missing out, because you really, really need to watch it. Second thing, again, is something that I watched really recently. Probably is actually the last thing that I watched. It is Down to Earth with Zac Efron. I'd heard about this before and I didn't really know what it was about. I thought it was about his life. Now, like, to be honest, as much as Zac Efron was my first ever love, I'm not that interested in just watching a whole series about him. But it's not. It's all about climate change and saving the planet and travelling, and if you haven't watched it, again, it's a real eye-opener, and it's one of those shows that I think everyone needs to see. It's entertaining as well. Like, it's not, you know, really depressing. It's really good, and yeah, I would highly recommend it. That's on Netflix. The next one is New Girl. Probably one of my favourite things to come out of this year was discovering that I liked New Girl. I've seen episodes of New Girl before on like plane journeys. I always tell people that whenever I'm on a plane journey, I always end up watching like random episodes of New Girl, like on the like in-flight entertainment. They never have like full seasons, so I can never like binge a whole season. But this year I decided to fully commit and watch the whole thing, and I'm so glad that I did, because I think it's now like up there with one of my all-time favourite TV shows. I think it's great. I think it's so funny, and again, if you've not watched New Girl, then you need to. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I honestly think it's like the perfect TV show for me. The next programme that I watched this year, and again, I was so shocked when I remembered that I'd only watched it this year, is The Office, the US Office. Guys, I think it's my favourite TV show of all time now. I love it so much. Genuinely, I'm so happy that I watched it. It is a lot of commitment because it is a lot of seasons. I think it's like 9 seasons and there's a lot of episodes. We watched it over like a couple of months, I want to say, and yeah, it's my favourite TV show of all time. I'm so glad that I discovered it. I would say The Office and New Girl are like my 2 favourite TV shows maybe ever. closely followed by Fresh Meat, which I've just started rewatching for the 4th time, which is really bad. It was also announced yesterday that The Office is coming to Netflix in January, and whilst I do have access to Amazon Prime, I don't have my own Prime account, so it's definitely going to be a lot easier for me to watch The Office now whenever I want, and I'm going to feel a lot less guilty about watching it because I won't have other people looking at my watch history and seeing that I've been rewatching The Office. So I'm very excited to rewatch The Office. I'm probably going to watch it from start to finish again in January when it comes out, because it would have been a year since I last watched it fully, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, honestly, The Office, such a good show. I'm sure most of you have probably seen it by now, and if you have, let me know in the comments down below. Did you prefer the UK version or the US version? I've never seen the UK version. Doesn't really interest me, in all honesty. My dad is a strong advocator for the UK version, whereas I love the US version. So if you've seen both, let me know in the comments which one you prefer, because I'd be very interested to know. The next 2 shows are Disney Plus originals. Obviously Disney Plus came out this year, so I've obviously been loving everything on there. I could have mentioned more, but I thought I would kind of whittle it down to my 2 favourites that I've kind of gone back to, or like things that have really stood out to me. The first one is The Imagineering Story. By no surprise, The Imagineering Story has probably been one of my favourite like non-fiction things to watch this year. I am obsessed with the Disney parks, as you guys know. I'm obsessed with how they kind of operate and how they work and how things are made, and it's me. I just love that show so much, and I found it so interesting. I was hooked every episode, and I just think it's so good and so fascinating, and I'm glad that Disney have opened up and talked about how things like the parks were made, because I think it is really important and just really fun and interesting. Yeah, just love it. Similarly, the making of Frozen 2 is the final TV show I'm going to talk about. I think it's probably one of my favourite like film documentaries or like behind the scenes things that I've ever seen. I genuinely think it's so moving almost. I don't know why, I love it. I could talk about it all day. I force everyone I know to watch it. I'm like, have you seen Frozen? Have you seen Frozen 2? Okay, cool, now watch the series, because it's so good, so good. And Jennifer Lee is a queen, and it's inspiring, isn't it? Like, it makes me want to work for Disney again, which we're just not even going to talk about that anymore, but alright, so next up we're going to talk films. This one was actually really hard. I only have one film in my favourites this year. I don't think I've seen that many films from us this year, and there haven't really been many that have been like standout films for me, but the one that has been Onward. Oh my god, Onward was so good. I think I talked about it at the time in a vlog, but you guys know that I absolutely loved it. It's on Disney Plus for those of you who haven't seen it yet. I would highly recommend it. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did, but even now, like, it's really stuck with me, and like I feel like because it's stuck with me, then that means it's got to be a favourite, right? Like, I've definitely seen other films, but I just can't think of any that I've seen. So yeah, maybe let me know in the comments down below actually what has been your favourite film this year that you've seen, because I feel like I either haven't watched many films or I just haven't remembered them. So if you guys let me know in the comments, maybe I can get some inspo for what to watch next year. Next up, we're going to talk books, and the first one I'm going to talk about is Normal People by Sally Rooney. Obviously I'm pretty sure every single person who can read read this book this year. I didn't mention it as a TV show favourite. It definitely was a TV show favourite, but I didn't want to kind of mention it twice, so the book and the TV show, I guess, I loved. I'm not a massive reader. I do go through phases of reading where I'll read quite a lot. This year I tried to read more, and I definitely have read more than I usually would this year. This definitely kind of sparked that for me. I knew I wanted to read this, and as soon as I read it, I kind of read like 3 more books straight after it. So yeah, I really loved this book. I was going to say, if you haven't read it, go and read it, but I'm sure you've probably all read it by now. I also love the TV show. The other book that I loved was Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven. Is that who it's by? I think it's who it's by. I don't have it with me, so I can't check. But again, that was another book that kind of inspired me to keep reading. I really liked it. I loved the characters, I loved the storyline. I've read a couple of books this year that I'm not enjoying quite as much, or didn't enjoy quite as much. But those two definitely been like the 2 that I'm glad I read this year, and I'm happy that I picked them up. I've also been using a website called World of Books to get my books. They're all secondhand, and they're really cheap, and they do, I think it's free postage, so literally everything is really, really cheap. I think I bought Holding Up the Universe for like £3 maybe, which is pretty good. So yeah, would definitely recommend that if you guys are into reading and you don't already know about World of Books. It also means you're not having to use Amazon, which is really important right now. Next up, we're going to talk music, and I actually have quite a lot of music favourites this year. I feel like I keep going to say this month, but I mean like this year. The first one is an album, and it is Pony by Rex Orange County. I know that this album actually came out last year, but I just listened to it a lot this year, and I feel like I didn't listen to it for the first time until this year. And yeah, honestly, I really liked it. So if you guys are into Rex Orange County, go and listen to that album. I'm sure you probably have if you're a fan, but yeah, I really liked it. And it's a very like calm, happy album, which I like. The next one is a song. It is Golden by Harry Styles, which is probably no surprise. Everyone seems to love that song at the moment. Obviously Fine Line came out like basically a year ago, so I already loved the album and the song, but recently it's been played like on the radio quite a lot, and it's in loads of playlists. So yeah, I just absolutely been listening to it non-stop. The next song is called Electric Love by, I don't know who it's by. I'll leave the name of the person on screen because I don't know how to pronounce it, but Electric Love, I kind of discovered it on a lot of the like Spotify curated playlists. It always seems to be there, like on my Discover Weekly, that kind of thing. I have been listening to the song so much, I literally listened to it like 5 times in a row the other day. It's just a really good, happy, feel-good song, and yeah, would recommend. Put Your Records On, but the Rip Money version, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I've probably said that completely wrong. I don't love the original. I did actually listen to the original the other day. Didn't love it as much as I remember loving it when I was younger, but the Rip Money version is so good. It's so calm, and just, I might go and listen to it after I film this video, honestly, because I love it. And honorary mention, obviously, to the Vamp's new album Cherry Blossom that came out this year. It was much awaited, and we love it, don't we? We do. So of course I had to mention that as well. So next up, we're going to do YouTube favourites, and this was really hard again. I feel like I don't change my YouTube favourites very often, and I've been watching the same YouTubers now for like a long time. I've not discovered anyone new this year really, maybe a couple of people, but they haven't been like solid firm favourites, like would watch every upload. But I've got 3, and obviously I do watch, like I said, I do still watch kind of everyone that I've been subscribed to for a long time, so anyone that you've ever heard me mention I've been loving. But the standout 3 I would say for me have been Emma's Rectangle. I think she's probably one of my favourite YouTubers of all time. She actually started weekly vlogging this year, which I've been loving. It's kind of become my like Monday morning tradition to watch her weekly vlogs. Obviously at the moment she's doing vlogmas, so I've been watching those kind of when they get uploaded. I love her channel. It's like chatting with a friend, like genuinely I feel like I'm watching a friend. Like, she's just so great. The second YouTubers I've been loving this year particularly are Sophie and Dave. They recently had a baby, so it's been really sweet watching them become a family of 4, and they've had some really hard times this year, and it's been really nice to kind of see them come out of that. Again, I've been watching them for years, like a really long time, like longer than I could even remember, but this year particularly that I've really been loving them. I've been loving watching them kind of grow. And my final YouTube favourite is Once Upon a Brun. I love Brun. I think she's great. She's definitely one of my favourite people ever. Again, I've been watching her for a couple of years, but this year I just feel like she's kind of been a standout for me, and like I wouldn't miss an upload. So yeah, those are kind of the 3 that I've been like watching every single video from this year. Alright, the next category we're going to talk about is food. There had to be a food category because there are a couple of things I really wanted to mention. The first one is digestives. McVitie's digestives. I know that sounds super random, but they have released a few like different flavours this year, in particular strawberries and cream and gingerbread. Honestly, I've got a complete and utter obsession with McVitie's digestives at the moment. I don't know why, but yeah, I've got like a weird obsession with them at the moment, and like every time they release a new flavour I'm desperate to try it. So I was kind of hoping they would release like a chocolate orange one. That could be fun. But yeah, if you haven't tried the weird flavour digestives, would highly recommend. The second kind of food favourite that I'm going to talk about is kind of a more generic one, and it is the entire plant-based range from Bird's Eye. I am so shocked that Bird's Eye have really delivered with the plant-based range this year. I think they started it for Veganuary and then they kind of just carried on. Like most brands, they do like vegan sausages and nuggets, but they also re-released their famous iconic chicken dippers, but meat-free chicken dippers, and honestly you guys, when I tell you they taste the exact same as regular chicken dippers, it's a bit mind-blowing to be honest, and I'm so glad that I discovered them. They also do the most incredible sudden fried chicken bites, which I'm now really like chicken free bites, which I'm now craving, and I really want some. They do sausages, which I really love, meatballs that I really love. Like generally as a plant-based range, they've really smashed it this year. They're also not too expensive either, so would highly recommend. Next up, we're going to talk drinks, and the first drink that I've been like really obsessed with this year is a chai latte. I don't know where it's come from, but I just freaking love a chai latte. Every time I go to Starbucks or Costa, I have to get a chai latte. Like I genuinely crave them all the time. My other favourite drink has been Biscuit Brew this year. Biscuit Brew by Yorkshire Tea is just so good. I genuinely love it like a lot. I crave it all the time. Again, similar to chai latte. I don't love a lot of like herbal fruity teas. I obviously drink regular English breakfast tea, green tea, Earl Grey. It's kind of where I draw the line, but I absolutely love Biscuit Brew. I think it's such a like, it's so different, but yeah, I really love it. We're going to move on to the final section of this video, which is going to be kind of like random favourites and kind of like moments of the year that I've loved, because obviously this year hasn't been great, has it? Let's be honest, but there has actually been some really nice moments which I thought were worth mentioning just to kind of end this video on a good note. The first thing of like random favourites has been obviously Animal Crossing. I don't think I could have got through this year without Animal Crossing. It was my lockdown activity of choice. I spent most of the first lockdown either making YouTube videos or playing Animal Crossing, to be honest, so I definitely think I would have been pretty bored without it. Obsessed. I think probably my like highlight of the whole year has to be my trip to Disneyland Paris at the start of the year. I genuinely cannot believe that was this year. Like it feels like it was about 3 years ago, but it was in January this year, right before kind of everything went a little bit wrong. I went to Disneyland Paris with my boyfriend for my birthday. If you guys haven't seen the vlogs, I'll leave them linked below because they're some of my favourite. I love them so much. That whole weekend was just the best, and I'm so sad that I can't do it again this year for my birthday. I was kind of in my head thinking of making like a birthday Disney trip a kind of tradition for me and going to Disneyland Paris, even if it isn't for like the same amount of time we went for this year, like maybe just for like 2 days. I would love to kind of make a birthday Disney trip like a thing. Obviously this year I can't because Disneyland Paris isn't actually open at the moment, and they're also, for some reason, they weren't going to be open for January this year anyway, which is kind of weird because obviously that's when I went last year. But yeah, I loved it. It was such a good trip, and although it was cold, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, that whole trip was so fun. Exploring Paris was so fun. I would love to have a little bit more time, I think, to spend in Paris. A lot of stuff was closed. I'd love to go back in like the spring, summertime, and that would be really fun. But obviously can't do that right now, can we? On the topic of trips, the other kind of major trip that I did this year was to Cambridge. It was our like little staycation we did in between the 2 lockdowns. It literally was like a few days before the second lockdown, which we were so lucky to be able to do, and it was just the most fun. I went with Kitty and Sky and Stuart, and it was just the best couple of days ever, really. Like it was so fun, so wholesome. I got to see Ellie, which was so nice, and just explore somewhere that I've always wanted to go. I feel like I've neglected a lot of the UK. Like when I think of traveling, I think of going abroad and going to like crazy places around the rest of the world, but I've kind of neglected like the UK in general. Like I've been to Scotland once, but I didn't really see a lot of actual Scotland. Obviously we were meant to do Edinburgh this year, which still hasn't happened. We were also meant to go to Amsterdam, which still hasn't happened. Stay tuned for next year because I'm hoping that we can do those 2 trips next year. We do still have our Eurostar tickets for Amsterdam, but I don't know what we're going to do about it. We might try and get a refund because they're only valid until like April, and to be honest I can't see us going before April because of uni and everything, which is such a shame. But I'm so glad that we got to do Paris and Cambridge this year. I do want to try and make an effort to do a bit more kind of in the UK. I really want to go to Bath and just stuff like that, you know, so I'm glad we did that. The next one is definitely a random favourite, but it is cutting my hair. I cut my hair off this year, if you guys didn't know. My hair used to be like down here and now it's here. I think this is probably my favourite length, like how it is right now is probably my favourite length, maybe like a tiny bit shorter. I had it cut dangerously short in like August, which I hated. I really was not a fan of that, but it meant that it's grown kind of nicely because my hair does grow quite fast, so if I had it cut to here, I can guarantee you that by now it would be like at least here. So yeah, I feel a lot more me with this hair. I feel like this is the haircut that I was supposed to have, and it's just taken me a long time to get there. I had my hair cut this length when I was younger and I really hated it. I don't think it was the right time for me to have that length hair, but now I absolutely love it, especially with my new glasses. I just love the kind of vibe that I'm going for at the moment, so I'm very glad that I did that this year because I think I've definitely found the style that suits me best. I don't know, let me know what you think. Do you prefer me with long hair or short hair? The next one, again a little bit random, but it was going to my first ever bottomless brunch. I'm not like a massive night out person. Obviously I've been on a lot of nights out because I've been to uni, so it's kind of just rite of passage to go on a lot of nights out at uni, and I don't feel like I've been on like tons and tons and tons. Like my friends definitely go out a lot more than I do, or did. Obviously no one's been out recently, but obviously when the first lockdown ended, clubs weren't open, but a lot of like restaurants and bars were, and a lot of bars were offering like bottomless brunch, and I went to my first one in September time, and honestly you guys, it was the best time. I loved it. I love being able to go eat a lot of food, and the drinks were really good. We had bottomless cocktails and that was just so fun. It wasn't too much of like a messy day either. Obviously it is day drinking, which can sometimes end up like kind of bad, but it was just so fun. We had the best time and I honestly want to do it again. I kind of want to do it for my birthday, but if I'm going to be honest, I don't think that restaurants and bars are going to be open for my birthday. Obviously that's not been like confirmed, but I just have a feeling they're not going to be. And the final favourite of this year is something that is kind of a little bit like niche to me, I guess, but it is taking Instagram a little bit more seriously and the kind of opportunities that I've had because of it. It's no secret that like I want this to be my job, and I've talked about it a lot on my channel, and I've been very open with you guys about how I really want content creating to be my job, even if it's not my full-time job, like just something that I can do that I can kind of say has a purpose, more so than just being my hobby, you know. I've been doing this for 6 years, so I feel like it's understandable that I feel that way. But this year I started taking Instagram a little bit more seriously, I guess kind of by accident, because obviously we had lockdown and I had more time to focus on Instagram. I started doing a lot more on stories, like chatting to you guys, which I've been loving. But I've also been able to work with some really cool brands, for example Estrid. I got to work with Amazon Prime recently, which is insane. Like I did my first ever paid ad this year, which I think is a massive milestone. I've wanted to do a paid ad since I started, pretty much, or since it kind of became a thing, and yeah, the fact that I got to do that this year, and like I always joke and say that I get gifted one thing a year and then that's it. I've been gifted so many amazing things this year, which I feel so grateful for. Obviously I have you guys to thank for that as well, but yeah, I feel like things are finally kind of falling into place in terms of Instagram, which I am really happy about. I'm excited to kind of focus on Instagram a lot more next year and spend more time on it, which is just going to be so fun. I'm finding it really fun, I think, is the main thing I'm taking away from this. Like, of course all the opportunities I'm getting from it are great and I'm so grateful and it's what I've always wanted, but I'm also finding it really fun, which I think is really important, especially because I kind of fell out of love with YouTube a bit this year. It's coming back slowly, but it's made me realise that I definitely want to focus more of my time on Instagram next year. I will still be uploading on YouTube, of course, and I probably will do a whole video about this soon once I've kind of figured it out a bit more, but I feel like it was worth a mention because Instagram has definitely been a favourite for me this year. Alright you guys, I think I'm going to end this video here because I'm concerned about how long it's gonna be. I've been filming for nearly an hour, so fingers crossed I can cut it down to like half an hour or something like that. I hope you guys don't mind having a long video, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what has been your favourite things this year, what things have you been loving, what things have you discovered. I'd love to know, because obviously this year has been kind of not great, but at the same time it doesn't have to be all bad, so do let me know some of your positives from this year. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. This is going to be probably my last sit down video of the year. The 2020 video should be coming soon. I haven't started it yet, which is really bad, and I definitely need to start it at some point. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon, probably in 2021 with another video. Bye!